Hello and welcome in our YouTube channel Metallurgical Facts. This is part 10th of RNL WISEC Management Training Exam 2020 practice set, and we are doing practice of metallurgical engineering question. This is part 10, and before this we have given nine part of this video series. So if you are preparing for GATE 2021, for GATE 2021 aspirants, this video series is also useful because mostly questions we are taking from previous year papers itself, and that videos will clear your concept. That will from those videos you can learn that how to avoid the silly mistakes during exam. Okay, so you can go through our playlist of RNL WISEC management training and watch those videos. So the first question is, which of the following metal working operations can be categorized in indirect compression? Okay, so this indirect compression is basically the load applied during the metal working process. So according to the load applied, to the workpiece, we can classify metal working processes in five different five different processes. Okay, so first one is a direct compression process, and I will tell you in details whenever we will do the metal working processes. Okay, so the next one is indirect compression and indirect compression type. This is type processes. Okay, so this is classified according to the work applied. Okay, and the third one is tension type load. Okay, so this is tension type. Number fourth is bending. Bending processes is basically depends on the bending movement. Okay, and the fifth one is shearing processes. Okay, so shearing processes is basically utilize the shear forces. Okay, so in the examples of this direct process is, so the examples of these processes are very important for GATE exam, and also in RN exam they can ask. So for direct compression type, rolling and forging is the example in which the direct compression type is used. And for indirect we can say tube drawing, wire or tube drawing. Okay, so and extrusion is also indirect type. Deep drawing, okay, so any kind of drawing is under indirect compression. Okay, and this that deep drawing is basically used for cup drawing. Okay, so for tension type we can say the stretch forming is best example for this tension type of loading. Okay, so bending movement is used in this process, and shearing process is basically the cutting processes. Okay, so this is cutting is example of shearing process. So from for this question this is enough. We can eliminate the options. Which of the following metalworking operations can be categorized as indirect compression? Okay, so forging is direct compression. Okay, so we can eliminate this option. Forging is not indirect operation. Rolling is also not indirect compression. Stretch forming is tension type processes. Okay, so extrusion is indirect processes. So this the correct answer for this question is extrusion. Okay, so in this example you can see, and you have to learn these examples for GATE exam also. So this is very important classifications of metalworking process according to the load. So the next question is numerical type. A copper aluminum diffusion couple develops a certain concentration profile after an isothermal treatment at 600 degrees centigrade for 10 hours. Okay, the time required to achieve the same concentration profile at 500 degrees centigrade. However, they give the values that the interdiffusion coefficient for copper in aluminum at 500 and 600 degrees centigrade is given. That means they have given the interdiffusion coefficient, that is the coefficient, diffusion coefficient. Okay, so we can talk about the temperature range. So 500 means, suppose this is 773 Kelvin temperature. At 773 Kelvin temperature they have given two things, that is D1. We can choose D1 for T1. Okay, so D1 value is 4 into 10 to the power minus 14 meter square per second, and the time is not given for this temperature. Okay, so they are asking about this time, what time it will take to achieve the same concentration profile. Okay, and at 600 degrees centigrade for any question, for any type of thermodynamics question, we need to change the temperature into the Kelvin for calculation purpose. Okay, so first of all we will do this during the practice, so that we can avoid the silly mistakes during the exams. Okay, so this D2 value is given, that is 8 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 13 meter square per second, and T2 is given, that is at 600 degrees centigrade, this is 10 hours. Okay, so they are asking the time required to achieve the same concentration profile in hours. Okay, so we have to identify in hours. So how to solve this question? So you know the fixed second law. So one of the solution of the fixed second law, from there we got this x square is equals to x square by dt is equals to constant. So they are talking about the same concentration profile, means same depth. So we can take it as constant, that is x1 is equals to x2 is equals to x. Okay, so this will be constant, so we can get from here d1 t1 is equals to d2 t2. Okay, so this d is diffusion constant, this t is time for the first couple for the first element, and this is second for second from the coupling. Okay, so now what we will do, we will put these values here in this equation and we will get the answer, or that is t1. Okay, so that d1 is equals to 4 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 14. T1 is not given, t1 we have to identify. D2 is equals to 10 to the power minus 3 and 10 hours. Okay, so this t1 value will be 200 hours. I am directly writing here, you can calculate for practice purpose. Okay, so whenever we will get the questions for the two data like this, they are comparing two data or for asking one values or by the comparison of equations. So for those questions we can write the given data like this: T1, that is temperature, then that at that temperature D1 is given, and at that temperature what T1 is given, so that you can avoid the silly mistakes by writing this way in exam. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is 200 hours is correct. Okay, so this is correct answer. The next question is the property of material that cannot be significantly changed by heat treatment. Okay, so the four options are: A, yield strength; B, ultimate tensile strength; C, ductility; D, elastic modulus. Okay, so we can relate this question from two things. That is one, you must have heard about structure sensitive property. Okay, so structure sensitive property is something that we can change through the heat treatment, or we can change the mechanical properties of those structure. Mechanical properties are dependent on the structures of that material. Okay, so structure insensitive is the second one. So we can classify all the property in two parts, that is structure sensitive and structure insensitive. This is very important for GATE exam. This concept is very important. So structure sensitive, we can say the sorry, structure insensitive part is basically the material property. Okay, so we cannot make changes through heat treatment or by any processes. Okay, so this is material property, and this is some we can write in general elastic constants, that you can relate from here, that this is elastic constant means elastic modulus, also shear modulus may be also. Okay, so this is elastic constant, melting points. So these all are material property. Okay, so we cannot change this, and this does not depend on the structure of the material. Okay, so specific heat is also. Okay, so specific heat is structure insensitive, and coefficient of thermal expansion. There are many others, there may be many others, but this is very important part. These are very important examples, that's why I have chosen these examples from GE Liter book. Okay, so here a structure sensitive part, we can write all the electrical properties are electrical conductivity is also electrical conductivity, all the semiconductor properties are structure sensitive semiconductor properties, I can write here. Okay, and the next thing is all the mechanical properties. Okay, all the mechanical properties means almost all mechanical properties are structure sensitive. That means you can say that yield stress. Okay, or these all fracture stress, fracture strength. Okay, fracture strength and creep strength, these all mechanical properties are structure sensitive. Okay, so we can make changes through changing the structure by introducing defects or any kind of things. Okay, so the property of material that cannot be significantly changed by the heat treatment is yield strength we can change, ultimate tensile strength can be changed, ductility can maybe changed, but elastic modulus is material property, so we cannot make change in this property. So elastic modulus is correct answer for this question. So D is correct option for this question. The next question is, which one of the following is ferrite stabilizer in steels? Okay, so I have already discussed in one of the video about ferritic stabilizer and austenitic stabilizer. Here I will tell you in brief. Okay, so this ferrite stabilizer, you can say that all the BCC materials are the metals which are having BCC structure, that is ferrite stabilizer, because ferrite have also BCC structure. That's why we can conclude from there. Okay, and all the FCC elements, all the FCC elements are austenite stabilizer. Here we can say the diamond cubic silicon is also ferrite stabilizer. Okay, so we can say that all the BCC element, that is chromium, molybdenum, okay, molybdenum, and silicon diamond cubic. Say silicon is basically diamond cubic, but this is ferrite stabilizer. Okay, so we can list here silicon also, and columbium is also a ferrite stabilizer. Okay, so from here in options we can identify, we can eliminate the all the FCC elements. Okay, so nickel having FCC, okay, so manganese also having FCC, copper have FCC. So these all we can eliminate by crystal structure, by knowing the crystal structure also, and by knowing all the properties which is required for ferrite stabilizer. Okay, so the first and foremost property must have, they must have BCC structure, they must have diamond cubic structure or silicon. Okay, so we can say that C, that is chromium, is correct answer for this question. So chromium is ferrite stabilizer. I have listed here chromium, molybdenum, silicon diamond cubic, columbium. Okay, so this is C part is correct for this question. The next question is matching type of question. So group A is given here and group B is given here. So this is the some processes, and here in group B they have given the products of some processes. Okay, so I have already told you in our section wise, when we talk about section wise weightage of the subject. So I told you about the manufacturing technology and extractive metallurgy. So whenever you will get the matching, mostly you will get from manufacturing part and from extractive part. Okay, so this is very easy matching, and in 2020 they gave it. I have illustrated this question from GATE 2020. Okay, so first of all we will see what is Corex process, and then we will move to the answer our code for making our code. Okay, so I have already told you we will not directly jump into the options for matching type of questions. We will generate our own code for matching type of questions. Okay, so the first process is Corex process. Okay, so this Corex process and Midrex process, people have very much doubt regarding these processes, Corex and Midrex. What is this? Okay, so we will see this Corex is basically so first of all I will tell you that the iron making route may be classified into three parts. That is, one you must have heard, that is blast furnace route, and the second is DRI, that is direct reduced iron and direct reduced iron route, and the third one you should know about this is smelting reduction also. Okay, so smelting reduction is the process. This is also known as SR processes of iron making. Okay, so this Corex process is basically smelting reduction process. We can say this is SR processes, and this is also known as alternative route of iron making. Alternative route to blast furnace route. Okay, so this is also alternative route for blast furnace, and the product of this Corex process is similar as the blast furnace product. Okay, so this is hot metal or pig iron, you can say liquid iron or molten iron also. So this is the product. Okay, and for this SR processes we can say there are few more examples, that is roh melt process, osmelt. Okay, so I am sure that you must have heard about these names, his melt. So these are the examples, just I am telling you. Okay, in element introduction part, when I talk about the iron making, I have told you about these three processes. Okay, so you can watch those videos for having general idea. Okay, so this SR process is basically classified according to the two processes, that is coal and electricity, and oxygen and non-coking coal. So this Corex process basically utilize O2 and non-coking coal for iron making. Okay, non-coking coal, and the product I have already told you, that is hot metal and pig iron. Okay, so from here we can match this Corex process by 3. So P3. So the next process is Midrex process. Midrex process is basically the DRI process, that is direct reduced iron. Okay, so So don't be confused by midrex and corex. So midrex is DRI, however this corex is smelting reduction. Also in revised syllabus of GATE they have mentioned these both processes. Okay, so we should understand about these things. So midrex process is basically gas based shaft furnace process. Okay, so this is something you have to remember, that this midrex process is gas based shaft furnace process, and this the product of this process is known as DRI, that is direct reduced iron, or sponge iron. Sometimes they will say solid iron. Okay, so solid iron is also correct. Okay, so we get solid so iron in solid form. So we can match this Q by 1. Okay, so flash smelting is general term which is used for copper. Okay, so flash smelting or flash smelter. So flash smelter we use for copper, and the production of copper metal is done through this flash smelting. Okay, so so this flash smelting basically used for sulfides, or we can use for sulfides also. So the product of this flash smelting reactor is copper metal. So we can match this R by 2. So submerged arc furnace, sorry, not welding, this is furnace. So I am doing here. Okay, so this submerged arc furnace, that is SAF is basically used for the production of ferroalloys. So we can produce ferroalloys through this submerged arc furnace. So this you can match this ferrochrome. So ferrosilicon we can produce through this submerged arc furnace. So we can match this S by 4. So the code is 3124. So we can match 3124 by option 1. So option 1 is correct. You can also look on all other options. Okay, so this is the way we do the matching questions in GATE exam. And by this you will not do the silly mistakes, because the marks allotted for this matching type of question is 2 marks and the negative marks is 0.66. So this will be a big loss for you if you will if say 0.66 will be reduced from your obtained marks. Okay, so take your time and do the matching type of questions by clearing your concepts during the practice also. The next question is, in a powder diffraction experiment on BCC iron, the first peak occurs at twice of theta. Twice of theta value is given. The wavelength of X-ray they are asking in nanometers, that is nm. Okay, so given data is the lattice parameter of iron, that is 0.287 nanometers. So this is the important question, and this is the topic from which every year they ask the question, one question from this X-ray diffraction pattern. Okay, so you should be ready for this type of questions. Sometimes people do mistakes while choosing the theta value. They take twice of theta, or they do the silly mistakes while using the virtual calculator in exam. Okay, so I will suggest you that whenever you are doing practice of numerical questions, please use virtual calculator as much as you can. You can download that virtual calculator from Play Store. Okay, so that will be very beneficial for your GATE exam. So here we will write the given data, that is twice of theta is given, so 68.7 degrees they have given. So this theta value will be 34.35. Okay, so whenever you are doing the numerical part, please deal one value, one given data at one time. So suppose if you are changing unit conversion, so do for every units. Okay, so do for every values, change the units for every values. Okay, so the lattice parameter is given, that is a is equals to 0.287 nanometers. Okay, so they are asking in nanometers, but I always take it as an meters. Okay, so in last we will change it in nanometers. So this is 9 10 to power minus 9 meters, and these are the this is the given value. And the one more thing they have said, that this first peak occurs at. Okay, so they are talking about first peak. So h square plus k square plus l square value is 2 for first peak of BCC iron. Okay, BCC iron. So we can apply the formula now, that is 2d sine theta is equals to n lambda. This is well known formula, that is Bragg's law of equation. Okay, so this theta is actually Bragg's equation, Bragg's law, sorry, Bragg's angle. And this here in this question they have given 2 theta, but we will have to take this theta value only. Okay, so this 2 is 2 multiplied by d we can replace by d is equals to a by under root of h square plus k square plus l square. Here d is interplanar spacing and a is lattice parameter. Okay, so each and everything you have to do separately during the practice session. So h square plus k square plus l square value I have already written. So under root of 2 multiplied by sine value, that is sine 34.35. So only way to avoid the silly mistakes is doing the questions step by step. Doing wrong questions by taking few minutes, that is not good thing. You take a long time but do correct questions. Okay, so that will be good for gate exam also. So lambda we don't know, so lambda we have to calculate. So here, from here, this a is given, that a is 0.286, so 287 into 10 power minus 9. Okay, so 2 multiplied by 0.287 10 power minus 9 multiplied by sine 34.5, that value you can calculate here. Okay, and multiply that by root 2. So lambda value you will get 0.228 multiplied by 10 power minus 9, that is in meters, but they in the questions they are asking in nanometers. So what we will do, we will change it in nanometers. So if we will remove this 10 power minus 9, so that will be in nanometers. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is 0.228. Okay, so if for this type of questions they will give the range from for this question, for NAT type of question. So the ranges may be like that, 0.225 to 0.235. Okay, so your answer must be lie somewhere between. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is 0.228. Thank you guys for your attention. Hope you have learned something new in this video, and please give us valuable feedback of this video series, so that we will able to add few more parts in this series before RNL exams. Okay, and subscribe our channel and press bell icon to get notifications. Thank you.